see one of the important concept and interesting concept too. Okay, imagine I'm in a person where I launch an application. Uh, think that I'm not a system administrator. I'm like a marketer user. I'm trying to create a new account. I'm trying to create a new account. I'm providing my account name, my phone number, and everything, right? So and then I should be selecting every account. As soon as I create one account, I should get contact created for the first time. I should get contact created for a first time. So this should be automated. As soon as I log into a tab, I click on new, I click on new, and contact need to be created, and that contact it should show as a primary contact just right below the parent account. Clear? Right below the parent account, we need to show a parent primary contact. Let's go back and verify. Do we have an option? Let's create a new field. Let's create a new field. What's the field that we need to create? Because it's a lookup relationship. Create a lookup. And related to which object now?
Account.
Contacts.
Contact.
Contacts. Okay.
We have a contact. Let's create. 1 minute. So let's create a contact. Child relationship name is accounts. Perfect. And instead of leaving his account, I will say primary accounts. Primary underscore accounts. I'm renaming when we need child relationship name. Gautam.
Mm,
When we do a child to parent query, right?
yes. Yeah.
Next. And I'm not adding to any page layouts. Let's add to page layout later this call. Okay. Save. Guys, when you are not speaking, please keep yourself on a mute and be handy to unmute yourself when you are answering questions. So now let's go to page layout assignment. I should be knowing which profile I am. I'm a system administrator and we do not have any record types. System administrator, the assigned layout is account layout. Let's go into account layout. Now look for primary contact account, primary. It got added. Contact. So I need to add just right below the parent account, right? That's the expectation. Save. Now refresh. Let's go and see an account. New account. Now are we getting like where is this contact one? Openly recently closed a tab. Accounts. Trigger after two. Details. Okay, we got it. It might be a reload issue. Parent account. This is not getting refresh. Control Shift R. Hard reload. New. cache or reload. Interesting fact is it should come, but it's not coming. There is a reload issue. Let me do one thing. Switch to classic version and I'll come back. It have a cache issue. If I saw accounts, new, now you can see a contact, right? So ideally here also we'll get, for now let's go back and change some settings called session settings. You don't want to do in a real time, but yes, consistence, improve performance, you can disable. Enable secure and persistent browsing for cache improved performance. So I'm disabling my performance feature in the session settings. Let's go to Lightning. Now we'll check it out. Do I have a contact field showing up on a new contact page, new account page? New. Here you go. So what I mean, let's say if I create Lakshmi Deepak and if I'm storing my phone number and everything, imagine this way. If I'm storing my phone number, my website, my company email and everything, if I start save, if I start save, then what happened? It should create exactly the same account name as a contact. That contact need to be updated in contact object, in the account object. Clear? So we are not, as soon as I'm creating a new account, it should create a contact for me. That contact need to be updated here. Clear? Yes or
Yeah.
no?
Yes.
Yep.
Now tell me which event you will utilize here.
It would be after event, no?
It would be after event. And it's not just that. Think about this one. Whenever we are creating a contact, what and all we need? Whenever we are creating a contact, what and all we need? We need account also, right?
Yeah.
When account ID will come after insert, okay. In the after event, it is perfectly fine. It is getting in. As soon as you insert contact, what need to be updated? Your account need to be updated, isn't it? With a inserted contact ID. Yes or no?
Yeah. Account will be
I'm
up.
sorry, what was that?
Whenever you are inserting a new contact, whenever you are inserting a new, see, the cycle is this way. First, you will be inserting your account. After inserting your account, you need to create one contact. After creating that contact, you need to update the source account contact field, right?
Yeah.
It's chain of actions. Now first you need to create contact account. Whenever you are creating account, you also need to create contact. After creating contact, you need to update back to the source account. You can remember this cycle, the actions we need to implement.
Yeah, sorry.
But now, where we need to write this trigger? Do we need to write this trigger in an account object or we need to write this trigger in a contact object?
Account object.
Why account object?
Because initially you're creating an account, right? Like
Okay,
when you
the
go with the
user
cycle.
actions, the DML operations is initiated from the account object, and we
Yeah.
are also expected to update account records, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, let's go back to our VS Code and we have our account trigger controllers, handlers, and everything. For now, what we are trying to do, for now, what we are trying to do, we are trying to implement our sync process between account and contact, isn't it? Instead of using the same class, I'll create my own class. SFDX, create Apex class, account, contact, sync. What is my class name? Account, contact, sync. Clear?
So why you're creating? Sorry.
It's the way, like it's a separate module, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. 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 Okay.
It's a separate. You cannot have all the code related to account in same class. That would be very hard to maintain, and that's not a good practice to write a class. You need to split off your methods differently based on their module of actions. Okay, you need to
Yeah.
be updated. Okay, account contacts. Now I'm doing my class. The class name is account contact sync. It got created. Now imagine this way. What kind of data we have by default? This class should expect, let's create. First, I'm writing my pseudocode. Pseudocode in the sense a theoretical explanation for myself. First, get all accounts. Get all accounts to a method. Next, what I need to do, they initiate a contact creation. Update source account details with contact information. Alright. Source account details, contact information called SFID. What is SFID? Salesforce record ID, right? Salesforce record ID, that 18 characters key ID we were talking about. Every record, if I open it, have a ID, isn't it?
Yeah.
This ID I'm talking. This is a unique specifier. Now, what we need to get here, get all accounts to a method. So first, let me define a method called public static, or I'll say public list of, or I'll say map of ID comma contact. I'm just returning this way because end of the time I need to. Okay, let's also do this way. Void process account sync is my method name. Nothing wrong. Whatever name you can give it, but ensure that you are following a camel case. The first word is small, first letter of first word is small, rest all is capital letter. And here my expectation is that I'll be passing my list of accounts. I'll be passing my list of account list. Account list. So now, what kind of data you have? You have a list of account, isn't it? To create a contact, what information we needed? To create a contact, what information we needed? Which field is important here? Only last name is important in this case, okay? So we need to ensure that our last name is passed. We have a phone number and we also have an email if needed. No other details are available in a account side. We have account ID available, we have email available, we have phone number, and we have a last name is nothing but your account name. Clear? Now what happened? As soon as you get, let's define a for loop. That's why you can iterate, right? Iterate the list of accounts to create a contact object, right? Contact records. That's it. You need iterations, isn't it? Because it's a collection. You need to pass record by record, right?
Yeah.
And what is the data type that I need to use here? How to write a for loop? Here it should be account. I'm saying record and account list, right? The data type of collection is account, so I'm using, and record is a for loop variable, so it have record by record, and account list is your source of information, right?
Yeah.
And then what we need to do, we need to create a contact. Contact is also an object, so let's initiate a contact object con equal to new contact, right? In con dot last name. Now we can get all the fields related to the contact. Once you initialize your object, and then you can update the values automatically. I mean, you can assign a values. So contact last name, we decided to have account name. So record dot name. Any question here in the assignment? Any question?
So you're adding variable like line number 22, it's a variable, right? Like contact.
Line contact is an object. That's what I mean. All the
Yeah.
Salesforce objects, Salesforce account, contacts, and everything are referred as object. When you have an object, you can create a new instance. Using that instance, you can assign a field value. So either you can read or either you can write the values.
So why you're
So
adding
the
It's
CON dot?
just a variable name, like the
Oh yeah,
object.
sorry. Yeah, yeah. Okay, got it. Yeah.
It's just a
so
variable name,
Deepak,
right?
basically
Yeah. Go
basically
ahead.
we are basically creating a non-static method, and to call that method we are creating an object, and thereafter we are assigning a variable.
Yeah, this method will be calling from trigger handler. That's the expectation.
And we are creating, this is the
Oh,
object, right?
This is for an
On
object, contact object.
22.
Deepak, this should be called after insert, right?
Yes, it's
Okay.
for after insert. Then only you will get your account IDs. Else you will not
Okay.
get account IDs. Now account ID, right? You have account ID equal to record dot ID and con dot phone equal to record dot phone con dot email equal to record dot email. Now understand this way. Understand this way. Whenever you are writing a for loop, you cannot do insert directly here. You should not write any insert or SOQL select queries inside for loop. The reason behind imagine we have limits. SOQL queries per transaction is 100. More than 100, it will throw an error. The same way the DMLs is 150. If it is more than 150 records, if you get more than 150 records in account list, then your class will fail because it is reaching limit. So always ensure you should not perform either insert, update, delete and select statements inside for loop. So what we can do, we'll create a new collection here. We'll create new collection. Let's say contacts to be created. Or collection essence list of contact con list contact list equal to new list of contact. Now then we'll be adding whatever records you are creating to a contact list dot add con. You got it? Any question here in this place? Any question?
No. No.
Okay. Now, what is the other thing that we need to do? Now you created your contacts, right? Let's say I'm coming here. If contact list dot size greater than 0, I'm doing insert contact list. Okay. Now contacts got created. What is the next step is pending? You need to update back your accounts, isn't it? You need to update back your accounts, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, how can you update your accounts? In contacts, you have account ID or you don't have an account ID. In contacts, you have account ID or you don't have an account ID.
Yes, we'll have.
Yeah, you have, right? Now, it's time to update your accounts. Time to update the contact field on account object. Now, how we can do that? Let's define one more list. Account, accounts update, accounts to update equal to new list of. You can't insert, right? The account got already inserted. Now we are trying to update, right? Yes or no?
We need map, I think, because using ID we need to insert, right?
Yes, that we don't need. You are right. Again, Bobsy, I'm not saying no. But there is also other simplified way that you can also think. You need to update only those accounts who have a contacts created, isn't it?
Yes.
Colon. You have a contact list, right? Inside contact list, you also have contact ID. Now, whenever you insert successfully, automatically the ID field will come up. Contact.id will also be available in this list now. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Now what we can do, let's say account ACC equal to new account. The same way I create an object. But here acc.id equal to account.id. Will that work? They both are same, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
acc.contact underscore c equal to con.id. Will that work? This is my new field, isn't it?
Yes, it will work.
Because I'm inserting contacts, so it means that I'll get a Salesforce record ID in the contact list on that object. So I can assign that contact ID. And then what I do? Accounts to update dot add ACC. Then I'll check the size of my account. If account list to update greater than 0, then I'll do my update. Then I'll do my update account list. You can't insert anymore because these records are already inserted. Now, whatever operations you perform, that will be your update. Clear?
If we give the 18-digit number, means it will display the contact name, or the 18-digit code it will display.
Recorded email is not available. Sorry.
Deepak.
See, it's a relationship field, right? If you pass your relationship field with 18 digit, in a backend it will store as a relationship, but for the
Okay.
UI it will show the record name, object name.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Edit object. So interesting is that it is saying there is no email field on account, but ideally we have an email field. Is that the custom field that we created?
Even last time also I got the same error.
Company email. So it's a company email. Deploy. It got deployed. Now we need to call this method, right? Whether this is a static method or non-static method. Whether this is static,
Non-static.
how can you call your non-static methods?
By object name.
By object name. After validations, you can always call your objects here. After action has handler, let's say that sync handler equal to new account sync handler dot process accounts, and I'll say new list. But if you can see, we are performing DML operation two different places. You are also performing DML operations here, right? You are also performing DML operations here, and you are also performing DML operations here. That's not a good practice to do. But before getting into practice, first we'll understand concepts, okay? You understood, right? You are updating the same account in line number 53 from the same method, and you are also updating in line number 45, right? So you are trying to update same account two times in this case. Yes or no?
Yeah.
But that's not a good practice. So whenever you are doing some trigger operations, ensure that your DML operations perform at later stage before closing method. But we discuss that going forward. For now, we do not have any issues in doing this way. That's okay.
So like that, if we need to do means in handler, we will call both.
No, no,
Am I
no. We don't perform DML operations within the method. We'll always have a return value from here. That value will be handled by a next method. That way we'll continue.
Okay.
Got it? So we don't handle those methods independently. We'll continue going further ways. Now, what happened? So this is in the after insert. So let me go back and I'll create one account. I'll create one new account. New. I'll say that contact sync test. And I'll say 99668877. How many numbers to do? And I'll say email is poyurp@yor.py. And yes, that's all. And I'm saving it. Account number is required. Okay, we made this required. Sorry. Let's go details. So you got a contact populated, right? Yes or no?
Yeah.
If I go to contact, I should be seeing account here. Account name. Yes or no? So this is an expectation from the one we implemented right now, right?
Yes.